What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gamers Fly podcast, where each and every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, discussing all things games, talking about that gaming shit. I'm one of your hosts, Jarrell. With me is Arthur Thomas. What is happening, man?
Not much. Been chilling. Been chilling, trying to cook more. Got next few days worth of meals good, ready to go.
Very nice. I know the last time we talked, there was like a crazy tropical storm happening in your state. Is it still right now like crazy right now?
No, no, there was just a big rain. There was just like a big rain and big rain and lightning storm the other night. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so we got a lot of rain. Funny enough, I ended up losing power beforehand, for like 15 minutes, but it's only because the Spectrum people were working on stuff and they knocked out power for like 15 minutes, but they got it back up. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, I forgot like that.
Premeditated. Yeah. Okay.
I forgot the storm was coming, so we're playing Reasonable Five, and all of a sudden just
Mhm.
hear like all these noises outside. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, there's a fucking storm coming. Yeah,
Yeah, one thing to add to the creepy mood, and then speaking of that, yeah, I for myself, we did the co-op for Resident Evil 5, and that was the first time I've beaten the game, played the game, and beaten the game. So that was fun. The co-op was really cool. I thought I've never played Resident Evil co-op before, so that was the first time. We did some streams on it on the channel at G4L Podcast. Definitely should check it out. So you can see how that is. And then Arthur showing me kind of like the beauty of the new game plus stuff and how like it gets even more fun with getting the opportunity for unlimited ammo and stuff. It's funny because new game plus, I typically don't dive into new game plus too much. Like I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, now I can collect all the Riddler trophies. Like no, I don't. I played the campaign. I'm done. I don't want to do new game plus, but unlimited ammo definitely creates a different mood because like you said, it's like a revenge.
yeah. So there's two ways people come. There was more. There's probably a few more, but for me, there's two major ways that I come into New Game Plus. Like you said, completionist, but there's also the revengeance part of it. Like, ooh, bitch, I just fought you with a basic pistol. I'm gonna come at you with a limited ammo, souped up fucking triple barrel Hydra. Like, no, 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 no. And so for me, that's why I like New Game Plus, because it depending on the game, I rarely, you know me, I rarely set out to, do a completionist. Maybe like all the side missions and shit, like in Cyberpunk, that's different, right? But no, for Resident Evil or like horror esque games that have New Game Plus, nah, man. It's always the revenge playthrough every single fucking time. So yeah, so this is your first time experiencing Resident Evil New Game Plus, and it's like welcome, man. It's like, and we'll get more into it too, but like even Resident Evil 9, same thing. People are discovering, the benefits of New Game Plus, like I said, the revenge aspect to it. Um, and we went down a rabbit hole playing Resident Evil 5, but Resident Evil 5 cooperative is awesome. And Joe's like, ooh, so that means we're gonna, should we buy Resident Evil 6 because it's on sale too? No, you can. I won't. No, no, I don't like. I don't fuck Resident Evil 6. They went too much. They went too far down the rabbit hole. It was really a joke, real, because you know how like you saw how Resident Evil 5, its controls were different. Like you can't move and shoot at the same time. Even though our enemies were doing barrel rolls, we couldn't. But I'm not even joking, Drill. Dodge backwards in Resident Evil 6. I don't know if they fixed the controls, but this is day one when it first came out. Hold back. It was like aim, hold back, and like double tap a button. So it was like three different fucking buttons just to like God of War PlayStation 2 B to the right or circle to the right. So how do you dodge? How do you dodge in God of War fucking PlayStation 2? Circle and pick a direction. Cool. How do you fucking dodge in Resident Evil 6? You to press three to four buttons in sequential order. It was like the stupidest, most
Yeah, it's like
ridiculous
why are you
shit.
guys giving more work for yourselves? Like that makes zero
Yeah.
sense.
So
Jeez.
for more reasons than one, I'm like, hey, Resident Evil 5, I fuck with you. Resident Evil 6, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And what we'll get into, thankfully, the makers of Capcom realized they jumped a shark, and that's why Resident Evil 7, and I'm going back to their roots of scary haunted mansion, scary corridor shit. Nah, man. Resident Evil 5. So we did stream. We were still streaming. So we did the whole game, start to finish, for on New Game Plus. Jarrell has limited ammo with the starter pistol, and we're gonna work to get you unlimited ammo for your favorite sniper.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to it on the MP5 as well because I did max that out as we were going through, and I had some extra jewels to sell. I was like, oh shit, sweet. So like I filled maxed out the capacity, and that was the last thing because I maxed out the power and everything else. So and reload speed. So I was like, yes. Very cool, very cool. And if you're watching us here for the first time, hello. Be sure to subscribe if you'd like at G4L Podcast. That's the link. That's the main channel, for where Arthur does the streams. That he hosts the streams typically. I'll join in if we're doing co-op, obviously, but he manages all that. Does a great job. Obviously, we have the podcast for that, and then anything else in between. You can go to linktree.com/gamers for life. That's the one-stop link for all things regarding to the show. And here at the Gamers for Life podcast, we read the news while you can watch or listen to what you choose by clicking on the link to the time code within the description of the episode so you can go to what topic that you prefer to listen to instead, or you can just hang out with us here at the Gamers for Life podcast. And I'll say before we get to the main kind of big reveal, kind of talk about some fun indie stuff here. I know you were talking about, obviously the conversation, one of the big conversations we tend to have on the show is just kind of the power of indie, its relevance, and how many people still really fuck with indie games, especially showing numbers. You talk about Mugenics, how you kind of wanted to share some information about that in the show. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go down a big rabbit hole. For me at least, it's just in the category of like, it's like you don't need a fucking 500 employee team filled with toxic positivity, giving each other like a fucking corporate circle jerk of like, is this a good idea? Yeah, 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 it's a good idea. Hey everyone, we did an internal survey from the top down, which is the best way to do internal fucking surveys. What do you think of this? Oh, it's really good. It's really good. It's really good. Veilguard flops, Shadows flop, and like, oh, what's going on? But no, Mugenics is made by two people. It's on Steam. I don't know if it's on console. If it is on console, check it out. Um, yeah, it's just a funny concept. Even if it's like, I will say this too. Even if like from the outside looking in, when you hear like indie cat game, you're like, I don't know if I'm the target audience for that, which I get because that category, indie game plus cat game, in Steam, yeah, you definitely go down a fucking rabbit hole. But if you remember games like Battle Block Theater and Castle Crashers, it has that kind of art style to it. That's how also type of scripting too. So it's just really fun. It's not even a full price game. It's actually on sale. No, it's not. It's not a full price game. It's $30. Um, yeah, it's a tactics game where you fucking breed different army of cats that do different abilities. It's just it's really fun. I haven't played it, but I'm gonna be kind of keeping an eye via wish list if it goes on sale. It's only $30. The reason I'm not buying it now is because Drell knows. Um, I really buy games based on playtime. I have a lot of games right now I'm diving into, including whenever I can, no life in Resident Evil 5, so I can just get so much fucking infinite ammo. But as always, when there's this thing of like you have a fun, it just again, indie doesn't always equal fun. That's not what we're here to say. It's just how funny more often than not nowadays in the gaming world, fun has equaled indie for a lot of cases. One does not always equal the other, but more often than not, one other has equaled the other one, aka fun plus indie is usually how it goes.
Yeah.
It's just fun. Like remember Joe when Bacon and I were playing Schedule One? It's made by one dude. And it's made by one dude. So for those of you also that know Meat Canyon, Meat Canyon. Um, yeah, he's involved in the game, or at least a trailer. Again, I haven't looked too much into it, but it's just fun. It's one of those games I want to give it time dive into. So check it out.
Yeah, man. I think there's also a bigger conversation showing just the relevance of indie games within a current space of 2026, right? So as far as just when you have all these high studio budgets, of kind of like shoving the same thing down your throat, for like microtransactions or whatever the case may be. It's live service stuff. I think some people tend to, I honestly feel like I think some people even just forget that indie games like Schedule One, Eugenics, like that those games even exist, you know? So I think that,
Especially for console players. Because I
mhm.
get it. If you're coming at it from PC or Steam perspective, everyone's like, "Yeah, duh, of course I fucking heard of it." But from a console game, there's just again one of the many things why I'm glad I got into the PC gaming world when I did. Before it got fucking expensive via AI. Um, but no, there's like I said, there was just a mass. Unfortunately just due to small teams, two people, one. Not every indie game that hits Steam and is a success on Steam is available on console day one.
Yes, yeah, that's definitely good to know. And then also too, like given like in this current world of crazy RAM prices, crazy storage space prices, a lot of people are like, yeah, like shit, like does it even make sense to buy a PC now? Things like that. And to me, like different indie games like this, the old saying, it's like sometimes the best handheld or the best like item is like the one you already have. So when it comes to different indie games that have these lower specifications, like hey, you can still have fun playing games and not have the highest of specifications. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes when it comes to PC gaming, we get caught up in this like, oh, I gotta make the most powerful, like I want to build the most powerful computer, but like fuck, I can't because of RAM prices. It's like, well, maybe you don't really have to. Maybe you can just explore more of games like this that fit within the spectrum. One thing that I find really interesting today is as I might have mentioned this on the show, but PC games being played on ARM devices, i.e. Android, through different applications like Game Native and Game Hub, being able to play PC games on an Android device, which is really freaking insane. And when it comes to the PC indie space, it creates this whole other avenue as far as like, wow, like I can play these PC games on this little device and it plays really well versus paying, $800 or whatever just to to play a game like that, so there's another conversation of relevance when it comes to like being able to have these experiences at lower prices, so I just find that to be really a really cool opportunity.
I disagree with you. If but Drell, if you don't have the most powerful PC, Randy Pitchford won't like you, because you won't be able to play Borderlands 4. But even if you have the PS5 and it doesn't work on your PS5, well, go buy a PS5 Pro, stupid. Sorry.
I
I
know
still can't.
CEO math logic is pretty ridiculous.
I still can't believe Randy Pitchford was like, "Well, it's your fucking PC," and someone's like, "I'm playing on Xbox." Ah, well, you have the fucking Series X Pro Plus. Hmm. Hmm. No, you have the day one. Stupid.
But yeah, so diving into I guess when it comes to big blockbusters versus not necessarily versus indie, but just the funny dichotomy around it. I guess we can dive into it. So Marathon, the first person shooter from Bungie, that we've been kind of waiting for a long time now. Finally released officially, and as far as for the numbers, I mean, it's not blowing anything out of the water. A lot of it too is the space has changed significantly because everything is a fucking live service game right now. So according to Steam DB, I'm seeing that it's sitting at 70,000, 315 players, give or take, uh, which is okay. Are those numbers that Sony is happy with? I don't know. We'll have to see how it sustains over time, and then obviously it's gonna be there's definitely gonna be the game of time, right, as far as in being able to add value through these changes on a weekly basis, because a lot of these games, like I feel like they have a life support of a couple of weeks these days because people are just tired of being fed the same thing, via IV, when it comes to these live service games. So looks like the all-time peak is 88,000. 337, which is it's not bad. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's just, it's like a fair like okay, But for a game that they wanted to be this to be big Marathon, they got some shoes to fill and they have limited time to do it. So I hope they can do it because obviously if it is in fact good or better or whatever, like I'm for that, I guess. But the proof in the pudding is that hey, you got mad other live service games that is going to be competing against. Like Arc Raiders is still 220,000 players. Even though a lot of
Yes,
people
I
don't
know when the
mess.
save wavelength drill started to cut you off, I was looking up other games, also the
Yeah.
Steam DB player count. So I had Arc Raider numbers on deck too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and then I know not as many people mess with Overwatch as they used to, but I mean, it's currently it's at over 100,000 players. You know what I mean? So Marathon has to, and maybe the gameplay is different than it is Overwatch, but it's still within a competition space that it really has to, it's got a face, right? So, and then the funny thing is when it comes to indie and high big budgets, Slay the Spire 2, and to be granted, this is an early access version of the game. And right
So I
now
don't want
over
my face, Joe, because I looked up I looked up those numbers too. God damn.
yeah, over 280,000 players at least right now, and I think the all-time peak is higher than that. Yeah, 574,000, which is freaking incredible. And
That's a
this is
single player game too.
single player game in early access. Like the official full game isn't out. Like, but like it's so it's just kind of hilarious. Where it's like, wow, fuck, So power of indie. But yeah, give me your thoughts on this as far as for like Marathon and just kind of in that space, and then also when it comes to I don't know, it's just like you're interested in Slay the Spire 2 as well.
I don't know. Here's the thing. When it comes to Marathon, you and I called it a lot, and then this wasn't like a hot take. It was obvious. It was like, what if we just take Apex Legends, give it a bunch of pastel colors, and have a different skin on it? Now I get you and I are not the target audience. We don't really fuck with extraction, PvP, battle royale shooters, and people are like, Arthur, battle royale's not the same as extraction. To me, it is. I don't care. I get it. There's nuances, but that genre of games, not bad. Just not my cup of tea, you know. Um, yeah. So I saw it. I wonder if they'll have more art. That's not stolen, like it was early on. I know a lot of people don't
Well,
care about that.
well,
Just
let
about a fun game, which is fine.
right. Well, the funny thing about that now, I'm gonna let you continue, but that person that art was taken from, and implemented to the game, they're now officially credited
Good.
into the game.
All right, good.
So as a visual design consultant, so I'm assuming he got paid out. Hopefully, he got paid out and credited, not just credited. So I'm curious. Let me ask you this. And definitely, I understand your, as far as for how you perceive, the extraction shooters and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and I try to be fair with this as much as I can possible because I mean, there's people like Mighty Keith. He was kind of sharing his thoughts on it and saying how it's not a terrible game, but he's just, but there's some stuff that's kind of weird. He said the gameplay is fun, but it's more fun than Arc Raiders as far as like the actual shooting gameplay. But kind of waiting to see how else they're gonna improve on it. I was gonna ask you if you think they should have made it a free to play game, if that would have opened more doors for for just people trying the game and just to increase the peak time of the playing base, because right now they're at what 78,000, and I know Sony's not happy with those numbers. They're like, okay, well, what else you guys need to do, because right now it's a $40 asking price, I think, right, which isn't bad.
Yeah. I don't
you
know.
know
Maybe it's weird because not all extraction shooters are free. Like it's hit or miss. For me, I don't mind the price tag because like Arc Raiders. So Arc Raiders is not free. You know what I mean? Battle Royale, this sort of battle, I think Battle Royale and Extraction's a little different. Is Battle Royale, those games that tend to be free and just have cosmetic worlds. Again, I'm looking at Fortnite. Not every Battle Royale is Fortnite, but a lot of them fucking are. Like, well, like Warzone. You know what I mean? It's like Warzone's free, but if you want to be Beavis and Butthead, that's not. You want to be Nicki Minaj, also not free. Um, I still love that she's a skin. But I don't know. Like I said, I think the fact that it's not free, but it's not a full price game. It's in this day and age, it's an understandable middle. You know what I mean? Um, and that's one thing I have heard about the game. Same things too. Like it's not horrible, like some people were worried about. But it's not like stop everything you're doing. Um, I'm just curious of what comes next. Because for Arc Raiders, they add the whole like for Arc Raiders there is like a background story. There is like humanity's been pushed underground. You have to go up to scavenge. So they drop new arcs. They drop new enemy types, new guns that's given. But there's more than a standard hero's a new gun. You know what I mean? So other than a map and guns, which I get is an addition, but again, battle royale slash extraction shooters nowadays is not what it was a few years ago. A few years ago, yeah, you can just give a new gun, a new map now and again, and you're fine. But like I said, now you're looking at this. You're looking at live service games as a whole. Look like Helldivers. There's a whole new fucking lore to it. There's fucking when Super Earth gets attacked. When Super Earth got attacked by the squids, the Illuminate. It just this whole thing. So, and again with Arc Raiders has a similar pathway, similar to what Helldivers can do. Like I said, Helldivers can be like, hey, there's a new event. The one of the entrances to the humanity's underground bunker is being attacked. Go, kill, I don't know, X amount of arcs, and everyone gets reward. Or hey, here's a new archetype, and it's way more aggressive. It doesn't just roam the map. It'll openly hunt, seek you out. That's a whole new thing. So with Marathon, I don't know long term, big picture, what can really separate them from other extraction shooters. You know what I mean? Apex, um, even if like let's say you're not happy with Apex, upside downside, Apex has a massive financial backing behind it that is EA, and so um, they put a lot of focus into the skins. I don't know how many new characters have dropped recently, but like it's like at the end of the day, you're gonna say, hey, who do you think's gonna give more consistent backing or updates? Apex by EA or Marathon by Bungie slash Sony, and it's like I don't know. So all I know is, again, from the outside looking in, I think based on the core gameplay and core like lore, I think Arc Raiders has a little bit more longevity, or at least a little bit more creative options beyond standard maps and guns. You know what I mean? I know
Yeah.
there are powers too. I don't know the details of the lore and the why people have powers, but that's something that can separate them from Arc Raiders. Maybe is like if they give buffs. Because remember, Joel, that was one thing that got us back in the Helldivers. That's one thing that got a lot of people back in the Helldivers. They're like, hey, people are unhappy with our nerfs, so we're gonna swing the pendulum so far. Fuck it, every gun got buffed. Like everything got buffed, and we jump back into it because like the game's hard enough, so it's like don't make our guns worse. And so they said, fuck it, everything's getting buffed, and it brought a lot of people back into it. So I don't know. Like I said,
Yeah.
my thought process maybe add more powers. Is there characters? Is it technically like are they heroes? Do you know?
I'm not sure if they're heroes. I know there are different characters. But I think you make a really great point when it comes to the lore of that being an importance now when it comes to these live shooters or the live service games and types of shooters, because I really feel like Helldivers 2 is a fascinating case study, right? Like the way that they were able to create this lore and this aura of like Super Earth and like the pride of being a hell diver and stuff like that within the regime. Like there's a lot of really amazing, and they nailed that shit, you know what I mean? Like to me the game wouldn't have been as fun if it didn't have that type of lore as far as like Super Earth, and just like the pride of like some defending Super Earth and being a
For
hell diver.
democracy. celebrating
yeah,
it.
like that's powerful. You know what I mean? Like that's powerful of transcending that to gamers, and that makes people want to play. So like that in itself is a case study that. Obviously Marathon has got a completely different lore, but it needs to. I think having a lore is really important, right? So what type of and to me, this is what Destiny struggled with, and arguably Destiny 2, where the gameplay was fun, but if I ask somebody what the game is about, nobody knows. And then nobody cares at that point too. There's like I just like play the gameplay, I like doing the raids, I like doing this. But eventually people stop caring and people stop playing because they're like, okay, what else is out there? And then people vacate. Helldivers people come back because they have that lore of like, hey, we gotta defend democracy. Hey, this person's been attacked, or hey, this person's been kidnapped. Let's go. Like those things matter within these live service components. So I really feel like that one, they either need to strengthen the lore, have some type of lore so people care about what the fuck's going on, right? Playing it, or they need to tighten up the mechanics of the gameplay. Because for the games that I don't really care about from a lore perspective, the gameplay is like amazing. It's really, really good. So like the fact that for example, High Guard, like, and I'll say they had, even though we all saw the writing on the wall, right? They still had the time to prove themselves because over like nearly 90,000 people were playing. So people were playing regardless of like, this is going to fail, but I'll give it a shot, right? But the moment that they had the chance to prove themselves, they were unsuccessful, and then they blamed us. But like if they tightened up how the gameplay was, and then again, like you mentioned, have a real case study, not just a survey from the top down, like a real case study, a real alpha, these things to really synthesize the gameplay and tighten it up, like that'll have people coming back. And then obviously it's like adding weapons, buffing things, debuffing things, things that obviously people do. But yeah, I just feel like Helldivers, to me, it's fascinating that I still have an interest in playing it, and I won't play Helldivers 2 if I'm not playing with y'all. You know what I mean? Like that is the community of like Hell being a Helldiver and Super Earth. Like I want to play with my friends when I play this game. I don't like playing with like people I don't know. But obviously that's how I play. But it just speaks to the lore, and it speaks to people playing the game and the sustainability. So hopefully we'll see what happens. When it comes to it.
And for the record, Joel, we can both say, hey, we were there. We were on Cyberstand day fucking 1. Okay.
Yeah.
And were some difficulties lowered? Fucking maybe. Okay. But hey, it wasn't worse. We weren't a fucking bot. We weren't a fucking bug diver during that shit.
That shit was crazy. I was like, what the fuck is happening? And it's funny because I know you like to positively micromanage what people are using when they go in because they want everyone to be successful. Yeah. But you're kind of like, yeah, I'm just gonna let Joe bring what he wants. And then when I go in there and I'm like, hey, this gun doesn't work. Like, yeah, I usually I don't bring it down. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like diving.
It's like I didn't want to take away the experience of diving into Cyberstand day 1 when we had no intel of what the fuck we were getting into. And I'm like, because I played like literally one match with King, and we got our shit kicked in. And then Gerald's like, I'm going to join. And he's bringing the Constitution, which is in lore a ceremonial, like the parade gun. And I'm like, ugh. I feel bad for Gerald, but it's like.
Because usually you ask me to add in, like, hey, can you add in that icon with this because it's going to help us out? But I know you saw the gun. You're like, yeah, what? I'm just going to let him learn.
It's a mix because because myself and King, Eastern time zone, Central time zone, so we get off work physically earlier than you guys, because we're in the future. So when it comes to Helldivers, we we'll kind of be the guinea pigs. Like when you and Ricky get online, it's like we don't want to take away the experience of you guys experiencing a new planet, a new enemy type, a new weapon for the first time. You gotta experience it yourself. And so Joe learned the Constitution, the weapon, not the fucking document. He got there. He just
and one and the same. They don't matter.
He just got.
It didn't protect me.
Drell lands lands on Cyberstan, throws the Bill of Rights at him. It's like it did nothing.
Get the fuck out
uh,
of here.
um, but
You're in
yeah, so
Cyberstan now.
so back to Marathon though. I think it's definitely in a better place than it was with High Guard, because High Guard's core, you take away all the Jeff Keighley, hero shooter, you take all that away. High Guard's core gameplay loop was not fun. Remember, they made a fucking 3v3 massive map that had no business being that fucking open. So it was like the time of loading a game to actually playing a game, like truly, was way too fucking long. It was like, okay, what if we make Siege, but what if we make a map the size of the size of like a Helldivers planet for some fucking reason? So it's like, so that's the thing. Is like, say you all about Siege, at least the time between like actual skirmishes of playing the game, it's pretty decently up there. Yeah, you might get sniped from sweats walking up to the base because they shot one pixel that was exposed, but that's that gameplay loop. But held up, but yeah. So I will say this, Drill. So their alpha, at least right now, it was an alpha. It was not a demo. They did make changes, so I will give Marathon its prop there, because you and I both know we have to kind of criticize or be second guess some alphas, because some alphas are glorified demos where it's because an alpha's like, we'll do this, hear feedback and change blank. Most of the time from larger developers, nothing gets changed, so it's a glorified demo. So as right now, Joel, here's what changed from the alpha to launch. Proximity voice chat, time to kill adjustments, meaning like how how easy or how hard it is to kill, healing items, environmental mechanics, such as the heat cascade, sparks, and some from ships above will do damage over time. And then character death mechanics. So like when a player dies, their body now stays on the ground for a while instead of vanishing immediately. Each changes were made to adjust player feedback and improve the overall gameplay experience. Ba-da-da. So at least credit what credit's due. Their alpha was an alpha. They had an alpha. Changes were made. Did it make everything perfect? Doubtfully so. But again, coming from any glorified demos that we've seen, I'll give them their props there. So yeah, this is not one of those games that's like, oh, dead in the water, but its long-term future is uncertain.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, definitely. So I wanted to go into I wanted to talk about the big cheese as far as for the future of Xbox, specifically talking about Project Helix. And the announcement of Project Helix was announced by Asha Sharma. I want to say it was through a tweet or what have you, but the main pieces, because GDC is next week, so she's going to be going to that. But one of the things that caught my eye during that particular announcement was when she mentioned, let's see, so she says that Project Helix will lead in performance and play your Xbox and PC games. Looking forward to chatting about this more with partners and studios at my first GDC next week. So there's a lot of corporate speak nonsense that of course we're still dealing with, and we don't know what is going to be like, what is their definition of a console? What is their definition of being able to play your PC and your Xbox games? Because I want to say not Todd Middleton, I forgot the gentleman's name, but he was basically saying that the definition of a console is where I can play my Xbox games. Like if there's a disc in the fucking thing and I can play my Xbox games.
Fucking
Can I play?
Everything's an Xbox. Sorry.
Right, right,
what
exactly. Yeah, exactly. What Sarah Bond is. She kind of bled that into everything. Or I'll say Xbox. They blame Sarah Bond, but this is, to me, I think she was just the captain of the ship, but everyone was on the same page. Everything's Xbox, and then that took a shit. But yeah, so like, what are we talking about here really? Is it just a PC? Will it allow you to play, when we say PC games, are we talking about Steam games? Are we talking about Epic Store games? am I able to take my Xbox One games and put them into the system? What are we talking about here? So uh, Project Helix is supposed to be a powerful fucking console, right? And then now that we know what this Xbox Rug Ally stuff is, obviously the power of the Helix is going to be way more powerful than that. I don't think it's going to be a handheld, but we don't know what it is exactly. But you know, we're it's in a weird situation where we don't know what the actual ecosystem of this will be. Is it just going to be a Windows PC? Like what is what is happening here, right? So I have more questions than excitement, right? Because one, like I don't, like I don't know this person. Like I just know they're head of AI, and they say a lot of quip. She says a lot of quippy like things that to try to grace the public. For let's bring back blades, and all this other stuff. I'm just like I don't believe anything you say. But my question to you is, what are your thoughts on Project Helix, and do you feel that this will have the capability of playing, obviously not original Xbox? I don't think, I mean, if anyone did expect that, it's like they laid off the backwards compatible team years ago. But at least being able to play your prior games, on disc, or have the capability of doing it. Do you think those are, if that's possible? And then give me your thoughts on Project Helix.
I wonder if they'll pull a Sony and have like a discless version of a console. I do know what it won't be able to play, and that's gonna bum them out because they banked a lot of money on it. It won't be able to play PlayStation games because Xbox tried to get around that shit. Remember, Xbox was like, "Yeah, what if we give you all of your exclusives?" And Sony's like, "Okay, we'll give you none of ours." Xbox said, "All right, bet." So Steam's coming to Xbox, and then Sony recently said, "Cool, our shit's not coming to Steam. Go fuck yourself." So Xbox coming to Steam is still a win, but I don't really know who it's a win for. Um, I do know okay. I do know there is still a good chunk of population that's Xbox customers and not PC, but the amount of things that come to one that go to the other is a lot. Like we were talking about earlier, if anything, that's again the only category that would really benefit that for again is indie. Only because again, major games that come to Xbox and PC, there's like rarely do you hear of like a decent sized backed game that is a PC exclusive. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, coming to Microsoft, PC, and Xbox. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
And like I said, with everything Xbox has done, they're just like, I don't know, man. Game Pass is too expensive. Their exclusives aren't worth it. It's like, oh look, pay for Game Pass. You get to play more sevens because Xbox loves its sevens. Outer Worlds 2, Avowed, Flintlock. Wow, I get to play Flintlock, Drill. I don't know. Like, for me, it's like I really put too much thought into it because it's like I think a lot of people that are in a category of just they don't care. Like, what I mean? There's a lot of people that just like Xbox is circling drain. Um, I know a lot of Xbox people. They're just saving up. A few of our friends, they're just saving up. They're gonna go to PC via a Steam Deck, handheld like the ROG Ally, or save up for a gaming laptop or something because it's like Xbox is a sinking ship you want to get out of. There's no exclusives. Their live service game, their Game Pass service is no longer worth how much it costs now. And I will say this, Drill, say what you want about Xbox and PlayStation Premium. I still like that I can pay for one yearly fat chunk for premium and have it for the whole year. And it's cheaper that way. You still can't. You cannot do with Xbox. You have to pay monthly. You
Yeah.
have to pay monthly. It's like how many fucking streaming services let you like Paramount, HBO? These are all area. Well, oh, they're about to be the same one soon. But those are things like I said. I paid for the whole year, and now like I'm done. I don't have to worry about it till fucking February, March. But now Xbox is like, nope, $30 a month, and here's one without ads. I don't know, man. Like I said, this new console reveal with everything Xbox has done with it, like recently, Jarrell, like everything Xbox has done within the past like 2 years, it's like, are people gonna really care on a large scale about this new console?
Yeah, I think there's a probability of people caring when it comes to really leaning it towards a PC. Because if people are looking for PCs and they want a sustainable, powerful PC, and if there isn't crazy weird limitations on that, obviously, like PlayStation stuff, I mean, they don't have to worry about that because Sony did that for them. But I think that'll satisfy those that are looking for a laptop or whatnot. That they can still kind of hone those customers in and kind of get them exposed into that ecosystem.
Well,
Um,
remember, depending on the price drill, there's now a Steam console. Remember, it's called the
there
Game
is a
Box.
Steam
It's called the
console, but
Game Box.
there there is a Steam console, but for one, Project Helix is exceedingly more powerful than the Steam machine. And then Steam is, they've been affected like everyone else when it comes to RAM and whatnot, and because of the components, and the power limitations of it, they're in more of a gambling situation versus Project Helix, right? Because when it comes to the Steam machine, you're looking at 4K of 60 FPS with FSR. Obviously it has the aesthetics of a console, but if we're talking about, say, someone who wants power, right? There's many PCs that are going to outperform the Steam machine now. So what Microsoft has going for it for Project Helix is its power, even though it's going to be more expensive. But on the contrary, everything else is going up in price. So there's a potential justification there. I think where Microsoft will lose the customer base is if you have players that have a whole Xbox One library or Series X library, say in disc even, and they have no access to even play those games whatsoever. Like even PlayStation, like we talked about, they released the optical disc separately, where at least people could play those games. I think they're going to lose a substantial percentage of players if they decide to do that. Um, because just having monthly access is not enough. I think for the third, fourth generation Xbox gamer that's trying to continue on, they're not going to continue on with Project Helix. They're going to keep their old stuff and just play their old stuff. So, you know,
Well, one thing one thing I'm pausing on is like, this happens a lot. Maybe with like every like two console generations, maybe like more so three. What more could a powerful Helix do visually for a day-to-day gaming experience than the Steam Machine or others? Because because there's already like, and this is more of a niche argument than the clearly mainstream, but more and more, you love it to the kids and their new words. Um, hyper realistic slop. It's where a game looks hyper realistic, but no one cares because it's not fun. The story's annoying. The writing's bad. Dragon Age of Veilguard looked good. It looked subjectively quality of graphics better than Inquisition. Again, a game where if it doesn't hold up, it's not fun. It's not gonna keep you going. It's not gonna care what it looks like. So it's like, again, again, kids. Oh, kids these days they like the word slop. But what I'm saying is again, more and more and more people are saying it's like, oh, cool, this game's hyper realistic. We've now gotten to a point where it's like a subcategory of the Uncanny Valley, where it's like, cool, no one cares. How is the game? So, for me, I'm not saying the Helix can't be more powerful, but if the power of the game is increasingly to a point no longer a major selling factor, but the quality of the gameplay loop is, the quality of the writing and the actual core mechanics stands out more and more. Will that extra power be true that much more of a selling point? You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I think that is a good question, a good point. I think it's going to be, to me, the other basis of this is their IPs, right? So Resident Evil, to your point, meets both of those components of the realism and the gameplay, and they're both very good. And that's why it's like one of the highest rated games on Steam right now. And Xbox, as we've experienced, they've had a history of botching these IPs that are first on Xbox and all this stuff, and then graphically too being a mess as well. So if Asha Sharma wants a return to Xbox, part of that return needs to be they used to have some really solid IPs that not only looked great but was fantastic gameplay. And you're right, not every there's different folds of customers that not everybody cares about graphics, right? So I think you're gonna have Steam. The nice thing about Valve is that they're always gonna have that demographic of people kind of just catering towards Steam, like Steam Deck, and then like people still interested in the Steam machine as well, because they kind of just prefer having those like indie based titles or early titles where not necessarily the most powerful thing is something that's what's needed. To me, the problem with Steam is that they're running out of time to keep the interest, because they keep releasing more devices that are going to kind of do the same thing, But the thing with Steam has is that the ease of access and having being a console experience. I just think they're running out of time to keep the interest, and I know like the market is obviously the biggest detractor going against that, but I worry, to me, I worry that people are just not really going to care. They want to get the controller, like the controller to me, like I figure it's like the hottest, most important thing that people really want, and then the Steam frame is last and the Steam machine is somewhere in the middle, so I think with Project Helix, obviously powered that won't be the biggest conversation or the biggest market, I think, for everybody, because we talked about before the Xbox Series. When it comes to Xbox Series S or X for that generation, most people had a Series S. Like they sold more consoles to Series S owners than Series X owners. So that caters to your point. Is power really going to be the biggest thing for them to win, right? So I'm curious to see what type of restrictions that this console has. It's gonna be expensive. So, but to me, what is the DNA of Xbox at this point, right? What is going to define Xbox? Like, what type of IPs are going to define Xbox? Because they kind of tarnish that with giving out all these IPs to other people.
It's not
You know,
Halo.
yeah,
It's not Gears of War.
yeah, and that's troubling, right? That's troubling because Gears of War was big, like Gears of War, like new kids, like they think Gears of War looks funny and weird. You know what I mean? Like it's not even an interest anymore. Like I feel like Space Marine 2 is the new Gears of War, because it's just like the game's awesome. You know
Real
what I mean?
quick, Drell. Gears. Speak of that, Space Marine 2. More free updates. We have a whole new class, by the way, the Tech Marine. Then
Phenomenal,
we have a whole
phenomenal.
new class and more missions. So
We gotta dive back in.
we
We
need
gotta
we need
dive.
to uh, we need to get back to that fucking game. Um,
Absolutely, absolutely.
and
Um,
again, not one to one, not one to one. The price point's different, but again, for hyperrealism, at least for Steam, Reasonable Requiem peaked at like 300,000 people. Slay the Spire 2, nearly 600,000. So again, it's not one to one. 170, one's $30. Still, it's so like I said, I think price points to be the biggest thing. And here's the thing too for console players or like parents to get things, stuff for their shit kids. We we used to work in that we used to work in the industry. We can call what it is.
yeah,
They're shit fucking kids and give me this. Okay, if you get this, will you behave? No. Oh, okay. We'll buy this. We'll have a controller for my friends to come over. Okay, like a little shit ass kid.
right.
But what I'm saying, Xbox has more notoriety. So it's like come holiday season when both consoles are out. Yeah. Oh yeah, Xbox is gonna fucking outsell Steam. Because that's like a whole market. Like I said, that's kids is like a whole market. People forget. Like we talk about player counts. Holy shit! You include Roblox and Minecraft? God damn! Like that's like a whole other fucking world, mobile gaming. You know what I mean? Fucking.
Yeah, I mean, there was that. I forgot what the name of that box was, but there was like this little cube box that had like
It outsold it. I've seen it.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw it at Best Buy. Yeah, it
yeah,
outsold the console. So there's a whole other market of things that gamers forget about, which is parents buying stuff for their kids. And here's the thing before that's like, now my example was shit kids, bad kids. But the true concept of parents buying these gifts for kids, it'll never stop. And to a point, nor should it. Because at some point, all of us were that kid that got that thing for Christmas. I got my Sega Genesis. You know what I mean? The difference is I wasn't yelling at my mom because we would get backhanded fucking across the room. And instead of somebody calling child services, if I kept acting up, someone else would join the fuck in. Okay? That's what it was back in the day. It's
yeah,
just, you sit down, listen to you, whoopah! And just like, and everyone high fives. And I was like, oh, the dumbass is crying. Yeah. So that's just how it was. What I'm saying is, so that, again, there's a whole other market people forget about. And come holidays, oh yeah, this will. Well, here's the thing. Again, depending on the price point, they'll sell because again, think of day one PS. Fuck, Dro, was it the PS4, Xbox One? Again, you put all the stuff together. You can subjectively, not subjectively, like to a point, constructively, I said Xbox One was a better console at launch, but one's $400, one's $500. Sony won on sales every single year when both those consoles were out.
yeah,
Because again, 400 less than 500. Again, to your point, one for one, Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X. Parents, a whole fucking massive, huge part of this gaming market. Lower number is a lower number. Fuck. I mean,
yeah.
so
I think.
we'll
Oh, I'm
see.
sorry. Really quick. I think too, to add on to your point, I think this. While I'm not the biggest fan of them pulling their PC single player games from Steam, I get it. You know what I mean? Like one of my points was, the DNA of Xbox. What about their IPs? Sony's going to hold down those IPs, right? And for that parent that's buying stuff for their kids, it's going to be an easy purchase for PlayStation, right? For Project Helix, there's like a bunch of million sub questions. Okay, what does this do? How do I protect? How do I have like a parental thing on a PC? Like what do I virus protection? Like like there's all these things
Oh,
where
dude,
the console's like just buy it, you know?
you're okay. I, s- I say, Joel, when I have my old man technology gripes, I still say they're fucking valid. Like when you had to walk me through what the fuck kernel security was
Oh
to
yeah,
play
security
to
boot for
play Battlefield
Battlefield.
6.
Yeah,
Holy shit, if I was a parent that bought like the fucking Steam machine or a PC for a like fuck, I'm not even a younger person. I'm 30 fucking 7. It was still like, and the game, this stupid, like, oh yeah, sorry, just the PC assumption of knowledge will never not fucking piss me off. Like, fuck you, dude. I buy
yeah,
a goddamn vacuum, it comes with instructions. How to use the vacuum? You plug it in and you turn it on, and the instruction manual is 20 goddamn pages. So why the fuck, when I buy Battlefield 6, there's no fucking instructions how to boot up my computer, but hold like F5, and then fucking change a setting within a setting within a setting. So, side note, I haven't
yeah.
played Battlefield in a while. Those two things are
A
not
lot.
related. Those two things are not related, but fuck, let's just be
It's
glad I
gonna be a
was,
hard purchase. Like it's gonna
let's
be
just
a
be
hard
glad I was
purchase
sober, dude.
for
If
the
I was like
market.
fucking drunk and you're telling me to Arthur like go fucking in my F5 boot up settings for a fucking game that I bought, go fuck yourself. There should be a question. Here's the thing. Name a ton of third party programs, Jarrell. Hey, in order for us to work, this has to be on. Would you like us to turn it on for you? Yes. Please be patient. This will take a few minutes. Do not close this screen. You will see your computer blink to different menus. Do not touch anything. How many times have we fucking seen that screen at work or doing all those programs
Yeah,
where it's like, we'll do that for you. Just don't fucking touch anything. But all of a sudden you buy a PC. Oh, Master Race. Everyone knows about fucking kernel boot up security. Suck my nuts. No, fuck you. So,
Ye-
yeah, sorry. So again, so that's another reason why console versus PC, it's like, hey, you have to know all this shit. There's no manual for it. and a good chunk of the community will mock you if you don't fucking know it. So you're like, cool, fuck you. I'm not technically part of your community because I fucking shower every fucking day. Sorry, just I got. Sorry, I don't know how, Gerald, but think of that kernel security installation. It pissed me off the most.
Yeah, I saw I triggered you on that. On that. Yeah, I was gonna say, oh, one of the last things that at least I had here on the topics of the show, but or just stop within this conversation is I feel like there's one way that we'll know whether this is a console, Arthur. That this Project Helix is a console. You know why? Grand Theft Auto 6. Grand Theft Auto 6 traditionally, as we've talked about, never shows up for PC day one,
Ooh,
right?
yep.
So if Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out and it's out for PlayStation 5 and 6, and then and it's too powerful to run on Xbox Series S or X, and Project Helix is a PC, they're gonna make every Project Helix owner wait for GTA 6 when they make it for PC. Dunzo. Like that is officially not going to be a console. Like so, this guessing game will be over if Grand Theft Auto 6 does not come out the same time on Project Helix as it would on a PlayStation 6. So that is going to be an interesting determination. You know what I mean? That's going to be really interesting determination. And that's why I was saying before, I wish they would just release it all at the same time. Rockstar isn't going to do that shit. They've taken so long just to have it on a console, you know. So that's going to be an interesting thing.
Rockstar relaunched the whole fucking game for an upgrade. Remember that? Xbox One, the Xbox whatever, PlayStation 4 to 5. Yeah, that was the whole thing. So Rockstar is oh, fucking positive element. Fuck you. They're gonna wait everyone to have their console for 2 years and resell the fucking game for the upgrade.
Yeah, it's just a big payday for Sony. You know what I mean? Like it's just gonna be a big payday for Sony. Like the sales are gonna skyrocket. You know, so that's gonna be interesting, and then that's gonna definitely devalue the Xbox's Project Helix, whatever it is. So, but anyway, that's all I had here for the show. Anything else you wanted to discuss before we close out?
Just a fun topic, Jarrell. Game Informer. Oh man, dude, I know some things in the water they just have shit luck. It's like every fucking, it's like everything they've chosen for their cover has just happened to kind of suck.
It's like the Madden curse or something.
Yeah, like Borderlands 4, The Masquerade, Bloodlines. They had some Dragon Quest game. It wasn't bad. Just it didn't top by any fucking chart. It's a niche. It's a niche category. What game do you think's making their next cover drill?
Don't tell me it's High Guard. I'm gonna be so mad.
It's not High Guard.
Okay.
It's not as bad as High Guard, but it is a
Okay.
game where you and I were like, ugh, really another IP fighter?
Yeah.
It's the Invincible fighting game.
Oh my goodness.
Because everyone, yeah, it's the Invincible fighting game. It's, oh my god, a fighting game of just Invincible characters. And look, I get it. I'm not saying the game's gonna be bad, but again, from the outside looking in, for me, IP-based fighting games and sports games for me are one and the same. They come out every year. It's a different skin. I don't know. It's just one of those things like, fuck, I'm not gonna buy another thing. It's like the horror games, Jarrell. Remember there was like a horror game for every fucking movie. I love Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I love Ash vs. Evil Dead. But goddamn, it was like Friday the 13th, Ash vs. Evil Dead, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. All like we don't need a fucking game for like what is Leprechaun next? Like fuck. You know what I mean? Oh, where's my goal? And you fucking the DLC. Ooh, the DLC for Leprechaun in the Hood would actually be really fun. But that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't need a game for like every fucking IP. It's not bad, but again, when they don't build a single player mechanic and it's a live service based game, it's just these are the type of games where its longevity is defined by the community And if the community understandably is playing all these other games that keep coming out, then for me it's like they're on a again it's for me it's like they're on a taking time bomb. Like again, like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, I still say it's like one of my favorite B movies of all time, and the soundtrack skate. Let me see. Is the Killer Clowns from Outer Space game still alive? It's still alive. Ooh, it peaks below 50 players, Drill. So that's what I'm
Ouch.
saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like if you're gonna do these like now, I understand because it's a fighting game. There may be like a storyline thing built into Invincible because of Naruto games. Dragon Ball Z. You know, again, those are fun because because at the end of the day, you do like I can enjoy every single Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi game because I never fucking played online. Are you fucking kidding me? Why? So I can play a sweat again that hasn't showered in days from Grandmaster shit. Fuck that. But every single Dragon Ball Z game has had an amazing single player offline experience. So this may be the asterisk of it, but again, it just for me it's like of everything coming out Game Informer. It's like you can't again, and here's the thing, Drill. Back to Borderlands 4. Borderlands 4 was the return, like the big hoopla Game Informer coming back. And it was like I remember, Joe, it was like a week. It was like a week after Randy Pitchford fucking ran his mouth. It was like, fuck. Can you imagine working in Game Informer? It's like that's gonna be your debut cover. It's Borderlands 4, guns and loot, 10 trillion jillion guns, all this fun stuff. Randy Pitchford goes on the internet with a Colt shirt and just runs his fucking mouth. Can you imagine being Game Informer like you, fucking asshole? And then you have
Yeah, man.
like I said, Vampires Masquerade 2, and all of a sudden that was in publishing development hell. And so I don't know. It just like I said, Joe, they've yet to have a cover that just hits out of the fucking park. Which is all like for us. We talked about Fall. That's their covers used to be really good. Like I said, a lot of people, including myself, used to like make their covers into like posters because they had really good covers. And now it's just either the game's not good, the cover's not crazy. So I don't know. Like I said, right before we started recording, I was like, "Oh my god, Joe, I gotta tell you, let you know what the next cover is gonna be." So yeah, Game of Thrones' next cover is what the fuck is it called? Hold please.
Dude,
I know it's Invincible.
Invincible.
What's the name of the actual game? It's like
Yeah.
cover reveal Invincible versus.
Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, I just feel like it's such an incredibly niche thing um, that I just don't see it really being successful. I don't really hear any buzz, even within the fighting gaming community talking about it. So I remember we had our qualms on it for one of the episodes we put up, and people were like, "Oh, you guys are hating," but then like no one's really talking about this game. Like no one's really excited about this game. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, yeah, sure, we're yelling at clouds, but once it rains, don't be surprised. So it just goes to show another prime example there. But good old Game Informer with the Madden curse continuing it.
Outer Worlds. Yeah, say what was the other cover? So the last couple is sort of working backwards. Drill is Invincible versus, which by the way, their main cover. Again, that thing with these IPs, they get behind so quick. Like its main cover is Omni Man fighting fucking Mark. Like 2 seasons ago. Spoiler, he's not
Yeah,
the
that's
fucking bad
old.
guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whoa. Yeah, I mean, it just like, what the fuck? I don't know. We're quite drill for Game Informer working backwards. Invincible Versus is their March/April edition. Before that was 007 First Light, a game where people are like, about it. World of Warcraft Midnight. World of Warcraft hasn't been, fucking amazing for years. Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined, again, not a bad game, just niche. Outer Worlds 2. Ninja Gaiden 4. Also a fun game, good game. I don't think it was like a quote unquote critical success, but had like constant good reviews. And then there, like I said, there was Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Advice: make a smaller fucking title. Borderlands 4, casting of Frank Stone, everyone's favorite, Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Hades 2. That was 11 of the issues ago was Hades 2.
Yeah.
And then right before Hades 2 Star Wars Outlaws. Yeah. Wee.
Yeah,
So
Hades 2 is probably
only good
the
one.
biggest success out of all of those.
Recently, yeah. Before that, they were good. Like before that, you go back, it's like The Rest for the Wicked, good game. Um, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Apex Legends, meh, neutral. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, where you could be a fat elephant. Assassin's Creed Mirage, Sonic Superstars, Armored Core 6, Final Fantasy 16. So again, they've had some good ones. It was just like, again, just bad. Like it's like you know what I mean. It's because you and I saw the trailer for Outworlds 2, we're like, ooh, that looks kind of fun, and all of a sudden it comes out and it's like, oh shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yes, sir. Well, we'll wrap it up here. Again,
Yeah.
thanks for watching here for the Gamers Life podcast. Each and every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, discussing all things games. And one of your hosts, Jarrell, with me is Arthur Thomas.
That's me. We're getting a big fucking meal before we record because I feel super super fucking fat.
All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you next time.